obligations. Okay, so in an attempt for a business to transfer the risk as a way of managing it, okay, we say that business would have to enter into an insurance contract. So it becomes necessary for us to explain insurance or know what it is. So, Prof. Ikuya, can you read what you see for insurance?
Insurance is an agreement between two parties, the insurer and the insured, where the insured pays a periodic sum of money called premium to the insurer, and in return, the insurer will compensate the insured in the event of a loss resulting from an agreed risk.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are saying that insurance is an agreement, and you know, agreement borders on a contract, right? So two parties enter into this contract, and one of them is called the insurer, and the other is the insured. Let me use specific examples. So you know a lot of insurance companies, Glyco Insurance, SIC, Vanguard, Star, in fact, a lot of them. Miway, we have Bima, in fact, a lot of them. So the insurance companies are the insurer. And then the person, that individual or any business that deals with this insurance company becomes the insured. Okay, now the insured pays a periodic sum of money called premium to the insurance company or the insurer. And in return, when the event agreed upon happens, the insurance company will compensate the insured, right, for suffering losses. So that is insurance. Okay. Now, we indicated that insurance is seen as a pooling of risk because you have a lot of people contributing money through the payment of premium to these insurance companies, so that when somebody suffer a loss, they would use that pool of funds to compensate that person. That is to say, if, for example, Glyco Insurance is having about 100 people insuring against fire, it can never be the case that all the 100 people are going to be indeed suffer losses because of fire. Okay, so in the event that out of the 100 people, let's say 20 people have suffered losses because of fire, then what happens to the 80? The 80 who have not suffered the fire would have their resources being used to compensate those who have actually suffered the fire. Okay, so we say it's a pooling of risk in a sense that we try to get a pool of resources from many people, and then when something befalls, something unfortunate befalls a person, we use that pool of resource to compensate the person. Okay, good. So the parties to insurance, as we have agreed, the insured and the insurer. So I want to believe you can briefly explain who the insured is and who the insurer is. So the insured is that individual or business that pays the periodic sum of money so that in the event of any loss, he or she is compensated. And then the insurer is the company that receives the premium, okay, and is obliged to compensate the insured in the event of a loss. However, we also saw that there are some risks that are not insurable, as in some risks are uninsurable and others are insurable. So when we speak of the plenty risk, there are some of them you can't insure, there are some you can insure. So that led us to the insurable versus uninsurable risk. Prof. Ella, can you remind us what we said? What we said about insurable risk?
So please, you said that insurable risk is a risk in which can I give an example though? For example, let's say when you can't ensure that the fufu or the soup that you have prepared, you can't ensure the soup that when it gets faults, the insurance company should come and pay you. But you can insure, let's say, a house or a building that, let's say, if it catches fire, you can have a contract to the insurance company on that. So therefore, insurable risk is a risk in which it's yeah, you can put the English there.
Okay. So in simple terms, it's a risk, okay, that is not eligible for insurance. And why is it not eligible for insurance? Number one, because of the frequency, okay? The frequency with which it occurs. If it is something that occurs on daily basis, monthly basis, it becomes difficult to insure such risk, because that will mean that every now and then the insurance company will have to compensate you. Okay. For example, going to insure against pardon me to use this example, but going to insure against hunger or thirst. Every day you are getting thirsty. So how can you insure against thirst? It's not even feasible, right? So if the frequency of its occurrence is one, and then two, if it is difficult to estimate the extent of loss the person would suffer. Example is when war happens. If war happens, it's difficult for you to estimate the loss that a business or an individual will suffer because of war. It's very difficult to do that, as compared to you estimating the loss somebody who owns a car will suffer if the car should be involved in an accident. I don't know if you get the picture. Okay. So, Ella,
So
welcome.
please, I hope you got my definition. What I said.
Yes, you cited a scenario, so we're digesting it. So,
Yeah, sorry, my network.
no problem. But I think we got you. We got the point you made. Okay. So, I said
Thank you.
insurable risk is one that is not, uninsurable, I should say. Uninsurable. Uninsurable risk. That's what we're looking at. So, it's a risk that is not eligible for insurance probably because of one, the level of uncertainty is very high, right? So due to high level of uncertainty, difficulty to estimate the extent of loss that will be suffered. Or the high degree of its occurrence. Okay, so we're saying that it is not, the insurance company cannot cover such a risk because one, the level of uncertainty is too high. It's you, even if you make an estimate, the estimate still looks uncertain. Example, imagine you saying that you want to insure against going to hell. This is crazy because no insurance company can estimate the possibility of hell and heaven. So you can't insure against such an event. Okay. I think it even sounds weird to you to suggest that you want to insure against going to hell, so that when you go to hell, the insurance company will compensate you, because that will be a loss, right? Or if it is difficult to estimate the extent of loss, if we cannot establish or make a good estimate of how much you are going to lose in the event of such danger or loss, it becomes difficult for us to insure. Okay. And then also the high degree of its occurrence. If it is something that is happening every day, we can't insure it because the frequency will be too much for us. Okay. I want to give an example, like insuring against maybe losing your pot of soup. Every day you cook. So the possibility that you may be losing your pot of soup is very high. We can't insure against it. Otherwise, even if a ladle of the soup falls down, you will be coming to us to claim compensation. Okay, so these are some of the things that makes some certain risk uninsurable. Okay, any question? Okay, so you know that in certain areas, imagine there are certain areas where flooding is like especially those who live around the seashore. I think it's very dominant with these people. Which of the towns now flood in the sea? I think the government stepped in to move them. It's in the Volta region. I've forgotten the specific place. So imagine if you are in such an area and you go to the insurance company to insure, they won't mind you because they know that that area, it is the frequency of flood occurring is like 100%. So they can't put themselves in such a position where they would have to be compensating you when the frequency of the occurrence of the loss is very high. Okay. Okay. So that is for the insurable, uninsurable risk. Okay. Now, examples of, I think last time we listed examples of uninsurable risk. Ella, can you tell us some of them? So number one is when,
uninsurable, it's a lot. Is it like the example I gave, like something closer to that? Or
Sure.
thank you. So let's say a lottery ticket. You know, winning a lottery.
Yeah.
It's one. Or a bet, a lottery or a bet.
Okay.
A business proposal. Business proposal, a lottery. Yeah, I think I remember just those two.
Okay, so a loss from lottery, a risk related with war. Okay, you can't insure such risk, and things like economic sanctions. You didn't obey the rules of maybe the country regarding business transaction, and they sanction you. You can't go and insure against that because it's your own. And then bad business decisions. You can't insure against a decision that, oh, if I take this decision and it doesn't go well, please compensate me. It doesn't make sense to do that. Okay. Then I don't think you can insure against inflation and all the market fluctuations. Today the price is 10 cedis, tomorrow is 50 cedis. Okay. You can't insure against that. Regulatory changes, reputation risk, climate change, some of these things you can't insure against them. Okay, great. So the opposite of uninsurable is insurable. So the insurable risks are those that are eligible for insurance due to their uncertain nature and the ease with which we can estimate the extent of loss the person would suffer. Okay. So let's put that too down in some notes for you. Okay. So you can say an insurable risk. Okay, insurable risk is one that can be transferred to an insurance company through an insurance company. Okay. Okay, and why is it so? Because number one, its occurrence is very uncertain. Okay, its occurrence is very uncertain as compared to the uninsurable. As for that one, it has a high degree of certainty, I should say. Oh, I think there's an error here. That one is a high level of certainty, like you are very sure it will happen. Example, going to insure against what do you call it? Something that is bound to happen because it's a daily routine. Okay, maybe insuring against bleeding gums when you are brushing your teeth. This one is certain that when you are brushing your teeth, definitely you may brush it to the extent that your gum may be bleeding. Okay. So insurable risk should be one that the level of uncertainty should be there. Okay. It should be accidental to it should not be a deliberate. So under the uninsurable risk, you can say any risk that is deliberate. Okay, as in you do it intentional. Okay, and then it should be measurable, as in it should be easy to estimate the extent of loss. Okay, so that is for insurable risk. I think examples include life insurance, health insurance, property, travel, and all the risks that are insured by the insurance companies. Okay. Then after that, I think we saw the principles of insurance. Prof. Ella, I come to you again. Principles of insurance. We mentioned 6 of them. Please take us through.
So please, all 6 of them.
Yes. Well, you can pick and choose the ones that you are comfortable with.
Okay. So, good faith, utmost good faith. It means that everything must be enclosed in it. Let's say, for example, you're going to insure your car against motor accidents, and let's say your car has been has been involved in a motor accident before. You have to inform the insurance company that your car has been in an accident before. Like
Okay.
every detail must be enclosed to
Okay.
the company.
Okay.
Also, contribution. Contribution also means that if you have insurance with multiple companies, like 3 companies, against the same risks, let's say you own a car and you have a car and you've insured it against fire with all 3 companies. If something was to happen to your car and it was caused by fire, the 3 companies will not pay you individually, but they will all come together and contribute to get you a new car. And principle of indemnity is that the company should revive if you insure your property to an insurance company, the company should indemnify you in the sense that they should revive you to your previous company. You shouldn't gain either a profit or a loss from it, but you should be brought back to your previous position before
Okay.
the accident was caused.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. And proximate cause. What caused, let's say, if you insure your property against fire and your property, something like, let's say, you insured your house against fire and there was a flood, the insurance company cannot um, insure you for this because it wasn't insured against flood, but it was insured against fire.
Okay, thank you very much. That's an awesome brief explanation of the issue. So, Prophet Kuya, I want to believe you appreciate some of them. Let me pick them one by one. Principle of indemnity. So, this principle states that if there is an agreement between an insurer and an insured against a certain loss, right? If the loss happens, the insurance company is obliged to get the insured back to the position where he or she was before the loss occurred. So, for example, if I have a car, a Toyota Corolla, and I insure it against motor accidents, and yes, indeed, it gets involved in an accident, but it's only the windscreen that got spoiled. The principle of indemnity says that the insurance company should only ensure that the windscreen is what fixed. Okay, they cannot buy me a new car. So because that will mean that I'm profiting from the insurance. So the essence of the indemnity is to one, discourage the insured from making profit. So if you suffer a loss, we compensate you for the loss you have suffered. So if you suffered a loss of 100 cedis, the insurance company is to indemnify you 100 cedis. Okay, that's the principle of indemnity. The insurance company is supposed to get you to the state before the loss. Okay, so we call that pre-loss state. That's where the insurance company is supposed to get you to. Now, the utmost good faith, as she said, here it is requiring the insurer and the insured to provide all the necessary information. They shouldn't hide anything. So the insurance company should be able to tell you all the terms and conditions surrounding their product, their insurance package. And you, the insured, you have to give them all the necessary information. If you are insuring your car and maybe you co-own the car with your wife, you have to provide all this information. Okay, you don't have to hide anything. That is the principle of utmost good faith. Insurable interest. We are saying you can only insure risk that has a direct, impact on you as a person or a business. As in, you should have a stake in whatever you are insuring. So you cannot go and insure a car that does not belong to you because you have no interest in that car. So how can you insure it? So before you can insure a risk, you should have a direct consequence on you. Okay. That is why I can insure against my parents' death, because when it happens, it affects me directly. But I can't go and insure somebody's father or mother. Okay, when there's no that direct link. If the person is my in-law, I have that interest, that stake. So when they die, it's going to affect me. So you should have an insurable interest. You cannot insure a property you do not own. As simple as that. Proximate cause, we are saying that in the event of any loss, we would consider what actually caused that loss. And is it what is stated in the agreement? So like the example Ella gave, if you insure your car against fire and then it was destroyed by flood, then the proximate cause here does not merit any compensation from the insurance company because you insured against fire. So the proximate cause should be fire and not flood. Okay. Now, I think I gave a case study where the person insured against fire, but what led to the fire was wind. And so the insurance company was not liable to pay because the direct cost of the destruction of the car was the wind. Okay, so proximate cause means that what has been agreed upon as the cause should be the one that eventually led to the loss. The fifth is contribution, and that also is to discourage the insured from getting profit or making profit out of the insurance. So if you insure your car against theft with 5 insurance companies and somebody steals your car, which is worth maybe 20,000, each of the 5 insurance companies will not pay you 20,000, 20,000. No, because that will mean you are getting 100,000. But the loss you have suffered is 20,000. So what they do is they will contribute, okay, to get you the 20,000 you have suffered, and that's contribution. Then the last one is subrogation. Ella, you didn't speak about the subrogation. Is that
I have forgotten.
Oh, that one is even the cheapest too. Try and remember something for me.
Subrogation.
Okay, so let me assist you. So we are saying that, okay, when you insure your assets and something happens to the assets, okay, and you are being compensated by the insurance company, the aftermath of the compensation, all the issues there should be borne by the insurance company. So for example, if you insure your car against theft, okay, and then it happens, the insurance company compensates you. The rest is up to the insurance company to take measures, maybe to find the person who stole the car, and if they're able to retrieve the car, they can sell it to compensate or defray the earlier compensation they have made to you. So it means that the insured has no business with the property or the asset after he or she has been compensated fully by the insurance company. So if you insure your motor against accident and it happens, and then the insurance company compensates you for your loss. If the motor vehicle had some scraps, it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the insurance company. If your building was gutted with fire and the insurance company has compensated you, whatever is left is for the insurance company to deal with. So subrogation here means that the insurance company assumes the right and interest of the insured after the insurance company has compensated the insured fully. Okay. So the insurance company will assume the right and interest, okay, to pursue any claim or recovery. So let's say that you have a car, you were driving and then another driver hits you. Okay, you have made an insurance. So the insurance company will come in to pay you. After that, it is the right of the insurance company to chase that driver who was driving recklessly to claim some compensation from him or her. Okay, it is not your right as the insured because you have been fully compensated. So that is the subrogation. The insurance company assumes the rights and interests, okay, of the insured to pursue a claim or recovery. Okay, especially from third parties who may have caused the loss or the injury. Okay, any question from my dear professors? I want to believe no questions. So I think I'll end the discussion here. Now that we are on the same page, I recorded this, so I'll share it in the group, especially for Josephine and I think Talisa to have a look at it. And then we'll continue, God willing, Friday with the types of insurance, etc. Okay, so thank you very much. The remaining 30 minutes, I think you can use it to take some rest, okay, and do your own things. But I'll share this video later with you. So thank you very much, Prof. Ella and Prof. Ikuya, for being with me through. If there are any questions,
You're
please.
welcome.
Yeah, if there are any questions, you can ask me. If not, we'll call it a day.